For the, I guess I should say, well, for the fourth straight week, the Arizona Cardinals lose. Their season is now spiraling down the drain. But more than anything, we have a quarterback controversy on our hands. So let's talk about it next.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Woo. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need him. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth, better have thick skin like callus. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show. Go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show. Go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
What is up? Welcome into yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. There's a lot of things to get into on this edition of the show, so do me a favor, before we get into it, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe. This show has been growing in numbers I didn't think was possible over the last couple of weeks, given how terrible the Arizona Cardinals have been. But you guys continue to show up through and through each and every week for the show. So for that, I am eternally grateful. So for all of you guys in the chat, my guy Michael, Jeff Gaines, Chill Peasy, Aaron Van Buren in the chat, appreciate you guys being here. Also, reminder, at the end of the show, last 5-7 minutes, I'll take some of your guys' questions. I will read through the chat. I'm not a big reader of the chat because this is more structured. I have a full show that I have lined out. So if you guys got things in the chat, we will get into it at the end of it, but appreciate you guys being here. But with that being said, we're starting a little late this morning. It's the craziness of the first day of the week. Got a lot of things going on in my personal life, but with that being said, let's dive right into it. So the Arizona Cardinals fall to who the heck did they play? The Arizona Cardinals fall to the Indianapolis Colts on the road yesterday, 31-27, in a game that I called. Like, in a game that I perfectly encapsulated correctly on either Friday or the Wednesday edition of the Ben Garcia Show. I had told you guys, I don't think it mattered if Kyler Murray started in this game. I don't think it mattered if Jacoby Brissett started in this game. No matter what, I was always taking the Indianapolis Colts to beat the Arizona Cardinals. However, I was always on the side of this game was going to be close. I never thought the Cardinals were going to win, but I thought it was going to be a fairly close matchup. And the reasoning for that was always this was a throw everything in the kitchen sink at them game, meaning the Cardinals season is kind of spiraling down the drain. I know some people will try to lie to you, I think, and tell you that they think this team could still make the playoffs. I will not do that to you. This team's playoff hopes are zero right now. It's not happening. And I said that this was a throw everything in the kitchen sink at them game. What does that mean? The most shots downfield I thought we were going to see. I think you'd see the most exotic blitzes, the best defensive performance. And I think that is also true because if Arizona Cardinals defensive backs could catch, this team would have won this game by probably 2 scores. But Budda Baker dropped one. Someone else dropped another one. Daniel Jones was erratic at times. Like, he had a good game overall. The statistics say so. But if you watch that game, Daniel Jones was erratic at times. There were some times where he was starting to look like New York Giants Daniel Jones. And I think that's kind of indisputable. However, that's not what the biggest story of the game was. I always thought the game was going to be close. I never thought the Cardinals would win, but I thought you'd see the best version of the Arizona Cardinals on display yesterday. And I know people are going after the defense, but again, I'm not surprised. I've been saying this for weeks. You cannot be a team that is so predicated on the defensive side of the ball in 2025. The NFL is offensive driven. You can bring in a defensive head coach. You can bring in good defensive showstoppers. But at the end of the day, defense no longer wins championships. Put the ball on put the money and the assets on the offensive side of the ball. They will pay dividends, and hopefully your defense can keep the opposing offense at bay for the most part. And here's what happens. When you play a really good offense like the Indianapolis Colts are, who are loaded everywhere, they are just going to get theirs. And if the Cardinals defensive backs could catch, they probably do hold the Colts to 24 points, which I thought would have been miraculous, given how good the Colts have been over the last couple of weeks. But that's not it. Like, I figured that this was going to be the case. And my guy Chill Peasy in the chat, we forced a punt in the fourth quarter we haven't forced a punt in the fourth quarter since week 1. Exactly. But also, the Colts have punted like 8 times this year, and 4 of them were against the Cardinals. So, like, they did hold up their end of the weight for the most part. I won't sit here and say that the defense was the reason why they lost this game. I don't have those expectations. If you do, then maybe you can blame them. I don't. But that's another thing. Every single time, we'll get to the quarterback controversy in just a second because I want to talk about Jacoby Brissett. Every single time the Arizona Cardinals have needed a stop, Jonathan Gannon's defense has failed them, which is a philosophical mistake on Jonathan Gannon's part for trying to tell us that his defense will do everything and more to stop the opposing team. That's not the case. Ever since week 2 in that Panthers game, the Arizona Cardinals defense against the Niners, against Seattle, against the Colts, against the Titans, when they needed a stop, they were unable to get it. Because in this league, offense rules, no longer defense. But again, the top story of yesterday is the Jacoby Brissett, Kyler Murray controversy. Jacoby Brissett looked better than Kyler Murray has looked in this Arizona Cardinals offense since the Miami Dolphins game last year. Drew Petzing, in his career, has had 2 300-yard passers. Both of them were Kyler Murray, and now he's got one other one, Jacoby Brissett. So we blame Drew Petzing's offense. But for the first time since the Miami Dolphins game last year, the Arizona Cardinals had a 300-yard passer. And it wasn't the Cardinals were down big and they were able to rack up cheap garbage yards. That wasn't the case. Jacoby Brissett was slicing and dicing. I tweeted out, and if you want to follow me on all platforms at Ben Garcia Show, you can follow along there. But I tweeted out at halftime, anyone who's telling you this offense looks drastically better with Jacoby Brissett than Kyler Murray is lying to you. And then the second half woke up, and the Cardinals offense looked awesome each and every drive, even the drive that they didn't score a touchdown at the end of the game. They looked awesome. And so it begs the question, is this offense just better suited for Jacoby Brissett than it is for Kyler Murray? And is it not so much Drew Petzing's fault? We'll answer that question. But regardless of anything, Jacoby Brissett has earned the right to start for the Arizona Cardinals next week against the Green Bay Packers, no matter what. Going up against one of the best teams in the NFL in the Indianapolis Colts, who have been a buzzsaw all year long, with no Marvin Harrison Jr. for most of that game. Trey Benson, James Conner, they're all out. The defensive side of the ball has got numerous injuries. Jacoby Brissett went in there and was the better quarterback in that game. In fact, they probably should have won that game. And so for all those reasons, and not to mention the first 300-yard passer since the Miami Dolphins game last year, nearly a full calendar year ago, Jacoby Brissett has earned the right to start against the Green Bay Packers. Kyler Murray's had his chance. He's had multiple weeks to wow us. And it is baffling to me that someone with the talent of Kyler Murray cannot work through this offense. But Jacoby Brissett showed through one game he could. And I think some of it is a mirage. I think some of it is Jacoby Brissett is not this good. Guys, I have a decade worth of data to show you. Jacoby Brissett as the long-term starter in the NFL is not a good player. I don't think that overnight he revolutionized his career, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, or even Geno Smith style. I don't think he did that. But he's earned the right. And we need to see if this past week was a mirage. Well, maybe Jacoby Brissett wasn't that good. Maybe the Colts just kind of took the day off. The defense kind of felt for themselves, yeah, it's Jacoby Brissett. We're going to be able to coast through this one and win. And maybe Jacoby Brissett caught him off guard. And all week, the Colts were preparing for Kyler Murray, but they got Jacoby Brissett instead. Like, you can buy into all that. Also, you can add into that It's a do or die game. Everyone knows they have to play their best game or the Cardinals probably aren't making the playoffs. So I think when you factor all those things in, you could say to yourself that maybe it was a mirage for Jacoby Brissett. But that doesn't matter. I want to figure out if it was. Because I know what this offense looks like for Kyler Murray. It's anemic. It's conservative. He does not take shots downfield. I think he's scared to get hit. Multiple times in this game, Jacoby Brissett hung in there, took a lick, and found a guy in the middle of the field. Like, that is something. And I know people are frustrated. I saw this tweet, and it drives me crazy. It's okay to just say the 3 words, I was wrong. I did that yesterday. Cardinals offense looked terrible in the first half. I made fun of people who said that the offense looked good. And I quote tweeted it later and said, yeah, nice tweet, idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. It's okay to just say you were wrong. There's no shame in that. But the Kyler Murray defenders, what leg do you have to stand on today? I saw Ron Wolfley tweet out, and again, I'm not going after anyone in particular. This is all sports. But I saw Ron Wolfley tweet out something about like Jacoby Brissett objectively ran the offense better than Kyler Murray today. And he kind of went on and talked, but like he never said in that tweet, Kyler Murray is a worse quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. Kyle Odegaard then quote tweets it and was like, add this to the list of backup quarterbacks that everyone's saying is better than Kyler. And I tweeted back at that. I was like, what are we doing? No reasonable person in the chat, on Twitter, myself, thinks that Jacoby Brissett is a better quarterback or more talented quarterback than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's talent is absolutely insane. He will make plays Jacoby Brissett will never make. But I think the lesson is talent only goes so far. Talent only goes so far. And Kyler Murray's got a lot of talent. But there's been questions about his work ethic. There's been questions about his leadership. There's been questions about his maturity. Like, I think Kyler is more committed than these guys, but Caleb Williams is talented. Is he committed? Jamarcus Russell was talented. Is he committed? Josh Rosen was talented. Is he committed? I don't know if Kyler Murray is fully committed. I also think, indisputable yesterday, that the players played harder for Jacoby Brissett. Do you want to know why? Because the thing that I've been talking about for a few weeks now, Kyler Murray is scared to get hit. He hates it. He disdains it. He has a strong disdain for getting hit. And when Kyler Murray's injury came out on Saturday night, which, by the way, side note, Michael Bidwell, you are such an incompetent buffoon. Of course, the injury report for Kyler Murray came out on Saturday. Guys, he has a Liz Frank injury. He was never playing. But, classic Michael Bidwell to news dump that on Saturday to ease the blow. And we have to ease the blow because we got to talk about this game. It is, it looked like to me what the numerous times Kyler Murray has thrown the ball into an intentional grounding, or I guess I should say the numerous times Kyler Murray has committed an intentional grounding penalty because he's scared to get hit. The amount of times he doesn't fight for a first down because there's a player right in front of him and he's scared to get hit. The questions about his toughness. Is he willing to lay his body on the line for the players around him? I think all those things caught up to Kyler yesterday. Because Jacoby Brissett, I actually was curious. I was like, man, does this offensive line just stink? This guy keeps getting knocked down. And then the game continued to progress. Numerous times, Jacoby Brissett was knocked down and he found guys over the middle. Numerous times, he took a look straight to the face and hung into the pocket and found a guy. Players want to play for that kind of player. I don't think players want to play for Kyler Murray. I don't think so. You're looking around the league and you're seeing Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield and these other quarterbacks put their body on the line for the players around them, even though they make the most money. And consistently, Kyler Murray does not do that. Jacoby Brissett did yesterday. And I thought the players rewarded him for it. The other thing was, Kyler Murray never throws the ball in the middle of the field. And I think this is score one for everyone that says Kyler Murray is too small to play in the NFL. No one's calling him short or, making fun of his height. It's just a matter of fact. Kyler Murray, I think, is too short to play in the NFL. Too many times we see passes batted down and throws not further than 5 yards past line of scrimmage in the middle of the field. And yesterday was very refreshing to see those things come to fruition. I don't know why it's so hard for people to say that are massive Kyler Murray guys. They see the talent, they see the potential, they don't want to give up, and can't just say to themselves, but Jacoby Brissett looked a lot better yesterday. He did. And regardless of Kyler Murray's health next week, Jacoby Brissett has earned the right to start. We need to see if that was a mirage. We need to see if that was just every player buckling their chin strap, trying to save the season. The Colts defense was caught off guard by Jacoby Brissett, or if this was the real thing. It was refreshing to see a quarterback throw strikes down the middle of the field and not question his toughness because he's committing intentional grounding penalties, oftentimes like Kyler Murray does, because he's scared to get hit. Kyler Murray is talented, and he's the better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. But talent only goes so far in this league. It only goes so far in this league. Jacoby Brissett has earned the right to start next week. The offense has never looked better until Jacoby Brissett went under center and showed everyone it's not that hard. So I'm willing to say to everyone, this week might have been a fluke, and it very well might have been. But the season is quickly spiraling down the drain. I'm going with the hot hand. And I'm also rewarding the player in Jacoby Brissett and rewarding the players around him. You think after what you saw yesterday, players aren't saying to themselves, God, we got to start this Jacoby Brissett guy. We can't start Kyler. We can't start Kyler. It'd be a slap in the face to those players. And listen, my guy Aaron in the chat, heart and grit will always show up when talent doesn't. How many times do we question if Kyler Murray even likes being an NFL quarterback? And Jacoby Brissett was accurate. He was on time. He found dudes over the middle of the field. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. You can be the biggest Kyler Murray defender and still say he's the more talented and the better quarterback, but also say in the same breath, but Jacoby Brissett was better of the offense yesterday. He was better with the offense yesterday than Kyler Murray has been. And I can't believe so many people have a hard time just saying you were wrong. Because I was wrong. I'm not saying Jacoby Brissett is better. I'm not saying he's more talented. Kyler's got more talent in his hand than Jacoby Brissett probably has in his whole body. But Jacoby Brissett has a want to, has a give a bleep, if you will. Kyler doesn't have that. Kyler doesn't have that. And it was the first time yesterday where I said to myself, I don't know if Kyler Murray is going to work in the NFL. It should have hit me a lot sooner. But I was giving it time. And you guys made fun of me. Why are you still in on Kyler last week? I'm like, it's the middle of the season. Like, I got content I got to do. Let me get till Thanksgiving. And then I'll tell you if I'm out on Kyler. Like, look at me today. You think I'm sitting here telling you guys are all wrong? You're not. Jacoby Brissett was better. And it's the first time I said to myself, I was like, I don't know if Kyler's going to work. Might be best to trade him, get what you can out of him. Like, seriously, even the Vikings. You got to have some heart. You got to have some grit, like Aaron is saying in the chat. You got to be able to have a guy that can hang in there and take hits and throw guys open. Kyler doesn't have that. Kyler just simply doesn't have that, guys. And I just seriously struggle with the fact if that can work in the NFL for 17 straight games. But at the end of the day, because of what we saw, this is Jacoby Brissett's team now until further notice. And if Jacoby Brissett is just so-so next week against the Packers, you're like, okay, Yeah, Jacoby Brissett's not very good. And we can give the reins back to Kyler Murray. Let him get healthy. We'll come back after the bye week. He can play the Dallas Cowboys on the road on Monday Night Football. But here's the other thing. I don't want to say, like, it sucks, man, because, like, I have to do content, and I don't want people to check out. Because there is still things that we need to learn from the season. But, like, it's done. It's done. The Cardinals aren't beating the Packers next week. And they're not making the playoffs. And Jacoby Brissett as the long-term starter is also a bad place to be. I've got a decade worth of data to show you. Jacoby Brissett is not a good starting quarterback in the NFL for long stretches. Really good spot starter, good backup. Those are valuable. But nah, he's not a good starter. He's not. I can show you that. Browns, Colts, Patriots, like he can't do it for long stretches. So, it sucks, man. Like I don't think the Cardinals are in a great place either way, because, you know, here comes the draft. Are you going to be high enough in the draft to select a Ty Simpson, or are you going to be forced to take a Sam Leavitt in the second round? Like, it's not a great place to be. The quarterbacks in this draft are not great, and we thought it was going to be better. So you can wave your flag for the Jacoby Brissett thing, but he's not a good starting quarterback. He's just not a good starting quarterback for long stretches of time. But for now, he's earned the right to start, and, you know, we'll give it back to Kyler if we have to. But for right now, we're not doing that. All right. Let's move over to some ASU stuff, because I want to talk some ASU football. That was abysmal on Saturday night. That was embarrassing on Saturday night. That was Kenny Dillingham's potentially worst game as a head coach on Saturday night. At least you know now, without Sam Leavitt, Jeff Sims is an atrocious quarterback in college football. He's got a little bit of slipperiness to him. I like the way he runs, although it's not great. But Jeff Sims is nowhere near the quarterback of Sam Leavitt. And Saturday's loss to Utah might have cost ASU's chances back to being in the college football playoff. And the reasoning why I say that is, you could afford this loss to Utah. And Utah is nowhere near the team that Texas Tech is on Saturday. Now, ASU can beat Texas Tech if Sam Leavitt plays. I will continue to stand with that through and through. They can absolutely beat Texas Tech if Sam Leavitt plays. However, Sam Leavitt, the quarterback, being injured, and it comes out that there's potentially some things he probably shouldn't be doing, I mean, that's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. And ASU lost that game because Sam Leavitt was injured. I think ASU beats Utah. Well, the score wasn't close. Things get different when your starting quarterback is in the game. Devin Dampier was running all over this ASU defense. It was the worst ASU's defense has looked all year. Part of that is it's raining, it's slippery, it's hard to wrap up with guys. But that was atrocious on Saturday night. And it was Kenny Dillingham's worst game as a coach in college football. Because the players didn't believe. I mean, it felt like after those first two touchdowns, they were just dead in the water. They did not force timely turnovers at all like they've normally been doing. And they got absolutely steamrolled by a Utah team that is always going to be a rock-solid program. But here's the biggest thing from it. There's some reports that came out that maybe Sam Leavitt was playing basketball or doing something else other than football activities. I don't know if those are true. I haven't seen anyone trusted put that out. I've talked to some people that maybe it sounds that way. I've seen it on social media that maybe it sounds that way, but it's not confirmed. So I can't go out of my way and just say, yes, this is what Sam Leavitt was doing. This is how he hurt his ankle, but it makes sense. Full 2 weeks of practice. There's a bye week, and Sam Leavitt out of nowhere turns his ankle. If this would have happened at practice, they would have no problem saying, yeah, he took a step back and he turned his ankle. It sounds like to me, Sam Leavitt was likely playing basketball. Now, I don't know that. I'm just speculating, but per my conversations, per what I've seen on social media, It makes sense. And if that's the case, like, you need to be able to find players. I had a guy text me, my buddy, and he was like, he should be fined NIL money. I'm not against that. Players would be pissed. You know, prima donna college football players would likely leave over it. But during the regular season, that's a no-no. You are paid. You are a professional athlete at this point. Like I said, whatever, a semi-pro athlete. You get paid to play football. And Sam Leavitt was potentially playing basketball and not taking the season seriously enough. Turns his ankle, has to walk in the coach's office, has a limp, and everyone's got to cover for him. Dude, you can't do that. That is awful judgment. You just can't do that. And if that really is what happened, Sam Leavitt should be fined, should be in some sort of trouble, because this is the most important part of the season. You beat Utah. The game against Texas Tech, you win or lose, it's okay. You will fight to see another day. But the problem is, you lose to Utah, you lose to Texas Tech, now you really got to beat Iowa State, and then cross your fingers that other teams fall. You can't have that. That's a lapse of judgment in Sam Leavitt, and he should be criticized for that. I don't buy that he rolled his ankle in practice. If he did, they would have said so. If it's true this guy is, if it's true Sam Leavitt was playing basketball, turned his ankle, or something weird happened, he's got to be in more trouble. He's got to be in more trouble than he was, than it seemed like he was. I'm not talking about suspending the guy because you need him, but there needs to be something in place where you find the guy NIL money. This is not workers' comp. If I get hurt at work, it's different. If he gets hurt in practice, it's different. You get hurt playing basketball, turning your ankle, costing the team potentially the season. Not only is that selfish, it's a lapse of judgment, and you should be in trouble for that. And so when I saw those reports come out, I'm like, come on, Sam. Really? In a season that is incredibly important for ASU to continue this success, you do that? You think NFL GMs are going to like that when they sign you to a $500 million contract? Like, if that's the case, and I don't know if it's true, it's just the rumor, and of course it'll never be confirmed, Sam Leavitt should be in more trouble. He should be. He should get more than a slap on the wrist. This was the most important part of the season. This was the most important part of the season. And ASU needed that win. And guess what happened? Utah, dog walked them. And now you walk into a game against Texas Tech that is ginormous. You have to beat Texas Tech now, or your Big 12 dreams are really starting to fade away. And Texas Tech is really freaking good. ASU's lucky this game is at home. I mean, it doesn't matter. Texas Tech stomped Utah at home. But this has got to be ASU's best game of the season. And Sam Leavitt has to go. If Sam Leavitt doesn't go, oh my God, I will flip a bleep. Because Jeff Sims, I mean, I'm not sure the guy is a college quarterback. He's pretty abysmal. He's inaccurate. He runs pretty well, but he's inaccurate. I don't think he throws with a lot of timing. I think part of this is on Sam Leavitt as well. Sam Leavitt was practicing all week until he wasn't. And that's concerning stuff. It's frustrating because you need your best players in the biggest moments. And Leavitt wasn't there and Jeff Sims was. And that deflated everything. Now you walk into a wet, cold game. Your defense is not star-studded. But now they're asked to carry you, and that's not the way this team is built. They are played off complementary football. The defense isn't elite, but it gets timely stops when it is needed. The offense gets going maybe late, but it gets going. They score 30 points. The defense gets a timely turnover to end the game, and that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case because Sam Leavitt wasn't there, and he should feel bad. If, of course, he was doing things he shouldn't have been doing. But with that being said, guys, I'm concerned about ASU and their viability in the Big 12. They've got to win this game against Texas Tech. They win this game against Texas Tech, everything will change and everything will be okay. But again, with that being said, I want to take the last couple of minutes to read some of your guys' comments. Maybe it's Cardinals related, maybe it's ASU related, maybe it's Suns related, maybe it's Diamondbacks related. But at the end of every show, I will start reading your guys' comments and be able to talk about them a little bit. Maybe you guys don't have anything. I haven't looked at it. Hi, how are you doing today, my buddy? Jeff, I'm great. Thanks, man. Chilpeasy, thank you for this is our therapy, Ben. Thanks, bro. Every day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 a.m. Don't know if that will happen. Gannon loves K1. Yeah, Michael, that was pretty stupid. Just so we're clear, that was pretty ridiculous that Jonathan Gannon still committed to Kyler Murray after the game. Like, that was nuts. Aaron, these talented athletes don't win championships at a professional level, especially at the quarterback position. My guy, Ivan, he said this to me yesterday. I thought it was really good. Poise. Jacoby Brissett had real poise yesterday. That is absolutely true. Van Heath, I can't believe I heard Josh Rosen's name in a positive light. It wasn't positive. I just called him talented. He objectively was talented. He's a Division I quarterback. Mike Wilson played hard. Oh, yeah, man. Michael Wilson, just so we're clear, is so underutilized, it hurts. That man can play football at a very good level, and he just needs more opportunities, and that could be a Kyler Murray issue. Now I know why no one wanted Jacoby to start. I was told he was never going to start over the franchise guy. Thank God he finally got a chance. I mean, Jacoby Brissett's not a franchise guy, but still. Agreed. I would love to see another week of JB. These other washed-up quarterbacks. Yeah. GTO, good rant. Everyone is gunning for them now. We got Rob, I don't know, Martin or Martin. Maybe you're Hispanic. It actually looks, I'm going to call you Martin. You didn't get robbed. You didn't get robbed. If you were a Colts fan, you were saying that was clean. If you're a Cardinals fan, like, I don't want to go after anyone else. I really like all the people in this media space, so this is just my opinion. But don't blame officials. Bad franchises blame officials. You had numerous chances to win this game. How about don't put it in the officials' hands for you to lose? And, like, I don't think the holding penalty was that bad. Like, Trey McBride sold it a little bit. Let's call it what it is. He sold it a little bit, and he didn't get the call, and that's okay. But, like, I'm not gonna blame officials. I don't do that on the show. You'll never hear me blame officials. It's got to be pretty egregious and consistent. So, yeah. Texas Tech and a dog walk them easy. I wonder if you've ever been happy before. You are such an angry man. I love you, but you feel a little angry sometimes. GTO, they have to let Arch mature first. Ace, you're going to lose 2 games. Yeah. Anyways, looks like that's it from you guys. So I appreciate you guys being here. With that being said, at the end of every show, guys, reminder, I will be here and I'll answer some of you guys' questions. It'll be less structured, so you might just hear me talk to myself as I read the questions. But wide receiver pockets are affected by quarterback play. Zay Jones and Michael Wilson came alive because they were given a chance. The entire field was open for our playmakers. What's your take? I think players have always been open, Ivan. I think they've always been open. I think Kyler just either can't see them or is too scared to get hit, waiting for the pocket to collapse, and just starts moving. Like 100%. Like I just think it was a Kyler issue, but we'll see. We'll see after another week. Anyways, with that being said, guys, for my guy Martin, Edgar, Michael, GTO, Ivan, Lil Maiku, I don't even know how to say that. GTO Greg, Aaron Van Buren, Jeff Gaines. For all you guys in the chat, guys, appreciate you guys being here. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. discussing all things Arizona sports, but it's got to be relevant. So it's a lot of Arizona Cardinals right now. Maybe the Suns will start coming into the picture a little bit, and we got some ASU football. But with that being said, I will see you guys on Wednesday at 7 a.m. I got to get to work. Life is busy. Stay safe. Have a hell of a Monday, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday at 7 a.m.